Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to bring you a mixed media scrapbook layout. So I have started this layout with the Liquitex clear gesso, which I have put on my cardstock, and it's just white cardstock that I got from the range. I'm going to be using Magicals because I just love them. They're so much fun. So these are Lindy's Gang Magicals. And they are like a pigment powder, and you add water to it, or there's lots of different ways that you can use it. Here I'm kind of mixing it together to essentially make a watercolor. You only need a tiny touch of the powder, but it's so bright and vibrant. The only place I've managed to get these in the UK is from Amazon. I don't know if there are other shops where you can get them from, so if you happen to know other locations where I can purchase these, then please leave a comment. But the only place I've found them is Amazon, and they're quite expensive. I think I bought them for about £15 or £16. You get 5 Magicals in a set. I've got a lot of use out of them, and there's tons of pigment powder in here, so I'm not that upset by the price. If I had bought a pack and then never used them, I think I'd be more annoyed. But I'm just adding some little splatters of the powder on here after I have kind of smushed them around, smushed the kind of watercolor version, and you can see the magic that happens, hence why they're so magical. So once you splatter this powder and then you spray the water over the top, it's almost like a firework, and that pigment powder gets sprayed a little bit further and it just spreads, and it looks so gorgeous. Then I'm going to get out my drying tool, just my heat tool, and I'm just going to dry this layer. It's taken me a long time to learn this, oddly, but it's quite useful to kind of dry layers and then add colour on top if you want to. I don't know, it creates a certain look, like it's apparent that the watercolour is layered and it gives a bit of depth of colour. So what I will do is dry this section, then add some more watercolour on top, and then dry that section, and so on. So you can kind of see the edges of the watercolour without them blending together like they do when they're wet. So once you've got a dry layer, it doesn't blend with the next layer that you put on top particularly easily anyway. So it can add a bit of depth of colour. It's something that I enjoy. I feel like it's taken me a little while to do that in my scrapbooking, which makes no sense perhaps, but yeah. So I'm just going to add a second or third layer here. So I started off like splattering, but these splatters were so big. Then I've done these tiny weeny splatters, which you might just be able to see on those white sections there. And then I'm just going to smush those big splatters around. And here I've managed to add some medium-sized splatters as well. And then again, I'm going to use my heat tool and dry all of this off. What I thought I might do is add some stenciling on top of this. So I'm trying to find, you'll see in a minute, I'm trying to find a stencil to use, but I really wanted a flower stencil, but I don't have one, which is strange. I have lots of spots and hearts and stars and some funky kind of tile shapes, and some chevrons, but I don't have any floral ones. So if you have any good floral stencils that you use or know of, please link them down below. Please comment and let me know where to get one from, because I don't have one, and I'm a big floral fan, so it seems strange to me that I would not have one, but I don't. In fact, I was certain that I must have one somewhere, so I spent ages looking for it. But here I'm going to use some texture paste. This is the Ranger texture paste, and I'm just getting a tiny amount. I kind of wish I'd mixed a little bit more now. You're going to see how tricky it is for me with the tiny amount that I did mix. And then I'm going to get some of the magenta colour of the Magicals, and I'm just going to add a tiny drop of the powder. It's such a small amount, but you will see how quickly it goes a really bright pink. I want it to be a pale pink to like draw on the top that I'm wearing in that picture. But yeah, it goes really bright, and then thankfully there is enough white texture paste in there to bring the colour down quite a bit. That's the only thing. The Magicals are, I mean, it's great. They're very, very strong. But you only need such a tiny amount to get kind of pastel shades anyway. So here I am searching and searching for the floral stencil that I must have because I like flowers. But do I have them? No. No, I do not. So eventually I settle on a kind of Moroccan tile pattern. If I'm going to get to it, have I accepted my fate yet? Nope. Still in denial right now. Still in denial. Still in denial. Still in denial. And okay, we've accepted our fate. And what have I gone for? This funky tile pattern. So I'm just going to smear some of this texture paste on top. And I really needed some more texture paste because that stencil is quite raised. It's quite a thick plastic stencil, and so I needed quite a lot of texture paste. Actually didn't really work as I wanted it to. And then I kind of realised that no, I wanted it either side, but thankfully I could just twist the design round to the side. And here I'm just going to add some more stenciling to the right hand side and a little bit of stenciling to the bottom. I tried matching the stencil section up to the actual stencil, but it was impossible. I could not work out how they connected at all. So it was like a puzzle that I was not able to solve. An unsolvable puzzle. Well, actually, I think the issue was that I was not patient enough to solve the puzzle more than that it was not solvable. So I quite like this little pastel pink. I think it's pretty. I don't really know what I was going for. Do you ever do that? I've started the layout and I had really no clue where I was going or what I was trying to achieve. I just knew I wanted splattery and quite a lot of white space, and I wanted it centered. That's all I really knew. I knew obviously because of the picture, I do let the photo itself guide the direction of the layout. So I like the embellishments and things like that to reflect the picture. I don't like anything too crazy. Here I'm using a Jen Hadfield paper, and is the cut apart, and this was in my, which one? October Turtle Craft kit, and I've got like a bit of one of those banners at the top that says "You are the best," but I'm not going to use that one. And then the one at the bottom says "Remember this," and I'm going to use that banner and shove it in there and make it all kind of flowy with lots of little flowers and things like that coming around the outside of it. I also have a few acrylic pieces. I'm only going to use one of those acrylic pieces, but it's from Bramble Fox, who I love. They do such amazing, really gorgeous acrylic pieces. So yeah, I love their geotags. I think they're really cool. I buy different colours of the geotags quite often because it's just they're useful. I like them. I know they're probably retro now. Young kids probably don't know what they are. I don't know. Are they retro now? I don't know. I feel like it took me forever to even know what they were, but then I'm actually just using my small diamond press tabletop thingy. What's that even called? Die cutting machine, that's it. Which I love, this thing. It's so good. It's so much better than having to get like a giant one out. I do have a bigger one for bigger stuff, but for most of the die cuts or die cutting thingies that I have, this smaller one is quite useful. So I'm using the flower die came from The Works, and I do have a video where I used that flower die to make a whole load of flower embellishments. But then once the flower is cut, I am just curling it with a paintbrush that you can see there, just to give it a little bit of texture, layering up a few different sizes of those. And I've also used a Sizzix leaf die set, and I've cut out some of these kind of trails of leaves in a few different shades of green to match the paint in the background. The paper that the flower is cut from is from the back of that cut apart sheet from Jen Hadfield as well. So it's a gorgeous salmony pinky, it's a warm dusky salmony pink. I don't really know how to describe it, and it has like cream polka dots on it. I just thought it was really pretty. So I just added a splash of that. And then I'm also using the Jen Hadfield stamp set. Again, this came in my Turtle Craft kit for October. And then I'm using a Memento Dewdrop ink, and I think it's called Pear Drop or something like that. and it just was the perfect green to kind of spread out and away from the gorgeous greens in that background. And so I'm just adding some more leaves, and I was only going to add 1 or 2, and then I kind of thought that it looked so good I just kept adding more and more leaves. So I've added them all the way around that photo. And then I'm also going to get the smaller stamp, which is like a little trail of leaves as well, and I'm going to stamp those, and I'm just using the same pear drop ink. I thought about using a different shade, but I didn't want to overdo it, and it's very subtle and it looks really pretty, and it's kind of like Sue's Fish-esque, you know, where she like stamps in the same colour or very similar colour to her painted backgrounds, which is really nice. It's really subtle and flowy and pretty, and yeah, I'm loving this layout. Genuinely love it. It's not very often, I don't know, where I really love it. Because I tend to not know when to stop, but I feel like I stopped at the right point this time. So I am just adding the last few stamps, and then off camera I'm going to stick all of this down. I think I might start sticking it down on camera, and then I stop sticking it down and cut a load of that out because it's so boring to watch. But yeah, I'm just using this acrylic glue from the range. It's £1. I ramble on about this glue all the time, but it's really good, strong, sturdy stuff. I've stuck a butter dish together with it. That's how good it is. So all the sticking down is done, and then I am just going to add some foam tape behind the Remember This banner to give it a little bit of a lift at the end, and I'm going to ruffle the edges of that banner a tiny bit to make it look a bit like windswept and flaggy. Like flaggy is a thing, but like a fabric flag blowing in the wind. And then I'm going to use a pink pen and just write underneath the geotag Ashdown Forest, which is where we were when we took this picture. In 2018, yeah, last year. Wow, time has flown. I'm not going to add anything else to it at all, I don't think. Oh no, I lied. Oh yes, I add some little sparkly gem thingies. These are also from the range, and they're just so cute, tiny little gems. I love these. Yeah, the kind of gorgeous sparkly gems that you can get hold of. So I think that is it for this video. Now I've added quite a lot of gems. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like the video if you did, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below so we can have a chat, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.